Black Clover returns with a banger. Asta's wife and the future Wizard Queen has become stronger than ever.
That's what I'm talking about.
Noelle's story arc with the Silver family has reached a beautiful conclusion. Mwah. And it's the battle of bazookas. Who will win?
Holy moly.
Noelle's brand new sea god transformation resulted from her love for Asta and never giving up on him. She's going toe to toe against her mother, Acia. Acia? Remember, I keep pronouncing her name wrong. It's been a while, guys.
It's been 84 years.
What's that? How do you pronounce her name? Acia. Okay, wait, Acia. She's going toe-to-toe against her mother, Acia, who's become a paladin. Remember, according to Lucius's timeline, this shouldn't have been possible. Noelle was never meant to be this powerful and would die. However, the Asta effect came into play, an anomaly that broke time. In chapter 359, Acia praised Noelle for growing strong, but states that this is as far as he can go. Meanwhile, Nebra is sobbing like a wimp because she is powerless in front of their mother, and she's as useless as ever. Acia scolds her kids for throwing away the opportunity to grow stronger, all because they let hate and power cloud their judgment by bullying their little sister Noelle. But even if they are pathetic, their mother will still love them because they will get a second chance to be a happy family together by joining the peaceful and equal world created by Lucius. However, Noelle rebukes that this isn't their real mother, as she had already met her spirit during the fight against Megacula, leaving to go to heaven. The woman standing before her is nothing more than a stepping stone that she must surpass, right here, right now.
Let's go.
As a result, Noelle activated the most powerful spell in all of Shonen, guys!
Stop the cap.
A flashback. We see her depressive state following the death of her future husband, Asta. She cried because she lost the love of her life. She lamented the fact that she couldn't do anything to save him. In the 1 year, 3 month time skip, she was training really hard and thought it would make a difference. But in the end, in front of Lucius, everything is meaningless. But that's when the power of love kicks in. As Noelle declares she can't give up, as she's certain Asta is alive out there somewhere, and she will protect the country so Asta can come whenever he pleases. Wait, that sounded a bit wrong.
Bro, what did you just say?
After all, how else can Asta become the Wizard King if there's no kingdom to rule? Now, throughout the story, Noelle's #1 driving force is her admiration for Asta. But as the story progressed, this admiration for him has slowly transitioned into love. When she first joined the Black Bulls, it was Asta who helped her feel comfortable with who she was. This was massive for her character development, as it was the first time she viewed herself as Noelle Silver, rather than trying to solely live up to the distorted views her siblings had for her. For example, in chapter 103, Asta noticed a little girl crying where people were ridiculing her, roasting her ass because she was a commoner. But before he could do anything to help, Noelle stepped in, stating, "I'm a royal. We're said to have the best magic in this country. And for that very reason, we should extend a helping hand to everyone." Spoken like a true wizard queen, am I right? Because this line of thinking truly was meant for everyone, as she even protected her dumbass siblings that we all hate when she unlocked the Valkyrie dress. Her unlocking a spell in this manner confirmed the effect Asta had on her was pure and everlasting, as she doesn't discriminate on who deserves to be protected or let personal feelings get in the way of her beliefs. Like, think about it. If we were in her shoes, she could have easily left her horrible siblings to perish as revenge for treating her so horribly growing up. However, her unselfish desire to protect them gifted her with a brand new spell. In chapter 301, when she was facing Megacula, all hope looked lost for her, but the mere idea of Asta gives her strength, and him just being there rejuvenates her. This love Noelle has is now paralleling the love Acia had for her all those years ago. Acia once stated, "A magic knight fights for the people and kingdom without thinking twice about risking their life. Once a woman has a child, she will try to protect that baby's life at any cost, as that is what it means to be a mother," meaning that the desire to protect and care for those she loves are what makes her strong. Just like how the thought of Asta makes Noelle stronger, and protecting her siblings did the same. Just look at the parallels of chapter 22 when she witnessed Asta defend her in front of her siblings. She copies the exact same stance in chapter 359, but instead helps those that oppressed her, because that's what Asta and a true wizard queen would do. Noelle's confession of love for Asta echoes her own reflections in chapter 295, where she told Udine that although it might have been a mistake to keep the Saint stage a secret from Laura Pachica, she did so out of kindness, believing that love can never be wrong. With this shared understanding, Noelle and Udine formed a pact, allowing Noelle to become a spirit host, mastering Saint Stage and ultimate magic to defeat Varnica. At this moment, Noelle is indirectly acknowledging her love for Asta, realizing that hiding her feelings is wrong, thus marking a significant step in her character development as she finally accepts the love she once struggled to admit, no longer embarrassed by it, but embracing it within herself. But speaking of acknowledgement, shout out to all our Patreons that have supported us, giving their mana to continue making these videos. If you wanna make sure we continue have a supply of mana, subscribe to our Patreon just like these guys, as ultimately with this sentiment, it led to Noelle obtaining the power of a goddess, as Kahana took Noelle to a gigantic sea god dragon that the people have worshipped since ancient times. The sea god was foreshadowed during the battle with Veto by Kaito's sea god slash spell, where he states, "We serve the sea god, praying, singing and dancing." And the legend goes as follows: the dragon of the raging sea will awaken from its long sleep when the end of the world is imminent. And so, with Lucius' plan in full swing, the sea god is about to go berserk, thus demanding a powerful host. Enter Noelle, who formed a contract with the Leviathan. However, it's revealed in chapter 372 that it's still not enough to defeat their mother. Noelle, in his efforts to protect his siblings, is being healed by an NPC, while Kahana and Kaito are holding off the angels for Noelle to continue the battle. Acia uses a shower of steel feathers, but it's countered with a vortex to eat them all up. Noelle, using her sea dragon, then slams her mother into a building, who gets excited that she's taking part in a thrilling battle again. This results in their worst nightmare. Acia decides to use her full power and water magic from the devil she's been given. Oh no! This causes the utter destruction of the kingdom, with Noelle having to match her mother with Sea Dragon's roar. As they both collide in a massive explosion, Noelle gets bested with Solid, declaring that there's no way they can win. But no. Bringing out Asta's influence on Noelle, she says, "Mother." As a result of this relentless desire to protect whom she loves, Solid and Nebra finally self-reflect. They realize that unlike Noelle, they don't have the courage to face an enemy they can't hope to defeat, and that it was their huge insecurity that poised them to toy with weak mages and torment them. You know what they realize? They aren't the MC's wife, you know what I'm saying? They realize they're not part of the light triad, man!
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
So, as soon as these two face someone stronger than them, others like Noelle protect them, and then they despair, making them pathetic. They both realize their wrongs for bullying and torturing their sister, because in reality, they were weak, whereas in comparison, Noelle took weaknesses head on to get stronger. This further proves her position as Wizard Queen, as it's exactly what Asta proved to Seke in the battle with Lucifero. Noelle finds hope in a painful situation. yet. But even so, Acia has proved to be too powerful. But at that moment that she was gonna kill her own daughter, her family came to save Noelle. It isn't the weak who should be embarrassed. It's the ones who stay weak. This is a play on Fulgurion's words to Noelle in chapter 27, when he told her being weak is nothing to be ashamed of. Staying weak is. With this new resolve, the siblings vow to never let Noelle feel insecure and inferior again. They are sorry and want to make a fresh start with her. It's not a guy got the around there. He's so beautiful.
This shit means something to me, man.
So ladies and gentlemen, that is why the four of them together will defeat their mother once and for all, as the hatred for Noelle has all stemmed from the family's misunderstanding regarding what really happened to their mother. After all, the curse didn't just take his mother's life, it stopped him from ever revealing the truth of what happened that day, as he too was bound by a curse, revealed by Dorothy in chapter 222. And so, despite Noelle knowing the truth about why their mother was weakening before her eventual death, he had to shoulder it all alone with no method of escaping. Because of this, Noelle's life was ruined, as the blame for Acia's death fell upon her, causing Nebra and Solid to resent their sister, believing her birth had cost them their mother. Thus, Noelle suffered in isolation, shunned, and unloved by those who should have protected her. Every time Noelle looked at Noelle, he was reminded of his failure and his inability to protect their mother, and so he too distanced himself, believing that by keeping Noelle off the battlefield, he could protect her. In doing so, he only deepened her suffering. He had selfishly chosen how she should live her life for her, something the likes of her and Asta as Wizard King and Queen are finally changing. Nonetheless, Noelle trained relentlessly, all in the hope of one day avenging his mother and destroying Megecula. Yet, in his pursuit of strength, he lost sight of the words Acia had once spoken, that one day all her children would surpass her. That was until Noelle stood before him, embodying the strength and grace of their mother. At that moment, Noelle began to understand the true meaning of her words. She had always believed in them, not just in him. And so, he vowed to protect his family not via isolation, but through unity in order to honor his mother's legacy. A legacy that would one day save the kingdom by allowing these siblings to defeat their mother. But first, they need a plan. And so, whilst Kahana and Kaito buy them some time, they get to work. Starting with Noelle, who tells Noelle that her former weakness of not being able to control spells and letting them run wild will be the difference maker today, as Asta having no mana ended up being what made him special and able to wield anti-magic. Likewise, during his training in the Hino country, Asta had to physically defeat his own weaknesses to grow stronger. So as you can see, Noelle's journey is paralleling her future husband. Nonetheless, Acia returns with another attack, but it's fruitless in the face of Noelle, who unlocks a brand new Mercury magic Silver Guardian. My man's out here looking like Silver Surfer, I'm just saying. Thus, Noelle leaves the rest to his three siblings to figure out, whilst he buys them more time. It comes with a cost though, because Mercury is poisonous. It hurts simply just to maintain this spell, as his entire body is covered in it. But let's be honest, this is Black Clover, no one dies, so there's so much types of recovery magic, you ain't gonna die. I'm just
He's out of line, but he's right.
But there is a lot of symbolism here, as the pain that he's going through, he claims it's the punishment for his sins and the atonement that will allow him to rebuild his siblings' bonds. And it's working, as Nebra and Solid finally work side by side with their little sister. However, because of Noelle's incredibly strong magic being used without control, it damages her siblings. But as they say themselves, it's nothing compared to what they put Noelle through. And so together, as a family, they push beyond their limits and come to terms with their wrongdoings. Nebra confesses that because Noelle looked identical to their mother, whom she loved, she was jealous, and plus she's better looking. Meanwhile, Solid admits he was jealous of Noelle's incredible water magic as a kid, as he too possessed the same magic type. Thus, he was thrilled to learn that Noelle couldn't control it so that he wouldn't look inferior, which is when, with their apologies, they unlock a new combo spell, one which is clearly inspired by one of Tabata's biggest inspirations, Dragon Ball Z, as the three form a Kamehameha in the shape of a dragon, firing it off towards their mother, who tries to block it, but it's proven useless. Which is when Acia realizes that she's cooked. However, it's not all bad, because while she failed to live as a paladin, she can happily die as a mother, proud to see how strong her children have become as a family, surpassing her. And with that, they will all approve of Noelle's choice as a royal to marry a commoner like Asta, as they would no longer be prejudiced or think he's inferior. But to enjoy more peak fiction, why not find out about Yuji's domain expansion and how he's about to kill Sukuna?